It was 2 minutes to midnight. The city had fallen silent. But it wasn't the kind of silence that brings peace. It was the kind that waits for something to happen. The streets were empty, lit only by scattered yellow lights. Rain tapped gently on the pavement, and the air smelled of rust and dust. At the Old Hill stop stood a young man named Ahmad, a photographer, tired after a long day shooting in the ruins of an abandoned factory. He just wanted to go home. He looked at his watch and sighed. The last bus should have passed hours ago. Then he saw it, a faint light in the distance. Yellow, flickering, moving closer through the mist. A bus appeared, old and rusted, its wheels stirring up black dust. The headlights glowed weakly, like tired eyes that had seen too much. Across the front was a sign that read, Route 13, Graveyard Cross. Ahmad frowned. That route was closed years ago. The bus stopped in front of him. The door opened with a long creak. No voice came from inside. No driver spoke. Ahmad hesitated for a moment, but the rain grew heavier. He stepped onto the bus. Inside, the air was damp and cold. The seats were worn and stained. A few passengers sat scattered around, their faces pale and expressionless. No one spoke. No one moved. At the front sat the driver. His face was hidden under the shadow of his cap. Sweat rolled down his neck despite the chill. Ahmad cleared his throat and asked, "Does this bus go to the city center?" The driver didn't answer. His lips moved slightly, but no sound came out. The bus started to move again. Outside, the mist swallowed everything. Ahmad looked out the window, but he couldn't see a thing. After a few minutes, he glanced back and froze. One of the passengers was gone. The seat was empty. On it lay a small, wet handkerchief with a single name written on it. Rehana. Ahmad's chest tightened. He turned around. The other passengers still sat still, staring ahead. Then the back door opened, and a woman stepped in. She was drenched from the rain, her white scarf clinging to her shoulders. Her eyes looked tired, but there was something strange about them. She asked softly, "Is this seat taken?" Ahmad nodded. "Go ahead." After a moment, she spoke again. "You're going to the graveyard too, aren't you?" Ahmad frowned. "How do you know where I'm going?" The woman smiled faintly. It was a smile that didn't reach her eyes. "Because everyone on this bus is." Ahmad's heart began to race. He gripped his camera tightly. Then he heard something. Laughter. Quiet, distant, but not human. He looked outside. Through the fog, he saw a glowing board. It read, "Graveyard Cross, welcome." When he turned back, every seat on the bus was empty. Only one old woman sat at the very back, her head bowed. She whispered quietly, "You shouldn't have come aboard, son. This bus never reaches its destination." Ahmad turned to the old woman, sitting behind him. Her eyes were closed, her lips moving as if she was whispering something to herself. He leaned closer and heard her words. "Route 13. Those who get on never come back." Ahmad swallowed hard. "What do you mean? Who doesn't come back?" The woman slowly opened her eyes. They were cloudy and gray, like the eyes of someone who had seen too many winters. Her voice was low but steady. "This bus doesn't carry the living, son. It carries those who live with guilt, those whose sins still haunt them." Ahmad took a deep breath, trying to calm his racing heart. The air inside the bus had grown heavy, almost suffocating. Before he could respond, Rahana spoke. "She's mad, Ahmad. Don't listen to her." He froze. "How do you know my name?" Rahana looked down. Her voice trembled. "Because I know you. Ahmad Frounet. I don't think we've ever met." Rahana raised her eyes slowly. "Yes, you have. You just don't remember. 2 years ago, near the old graveyard, you were taking pictures of me." Ahmad's breath caught in his throat. 2 years ago, he had done a photo shoot near the graveyard. A nurse had gone missing that same evening. Her last known picture was one Ahmad had taken. A blurred image, a figure standing near the road, and behind her, the faint outline of a bus. His hand trembled. "You were that nurse, weren't you?" Rahana nodded slowly. "Yes, that was me. And you took the last photo of my life." Ahmad dropped his camera to the floor. It landed with a dull thud. "This isn't possible." Rahana smiled, a hollow, lifeless smile. "This bus collects the guilty, Ahmad. You sold my picture after I died. You turned my last moment into profit." "No, Ahmad Guisperth. I didn't know. I swear I didn't know." The bus suddenly shook. The windows rattled. The lights flickered and went out. When they came back on, Ahmad saw something move near the front. The driver had turned his head. For the first time, Ahmad saw his face. And he wished he hadn't. It wasn't human. It was made of smoke and ash, with burning eyes that glowed like dying coals. The old woman cried out, "Now you see him, the one who drives the lost." Ahmad tried to stand, but the bus lurched forward. The doors locked with a sharp metallic sound. He pulled at the handle, but it melted under his touch. Rahana leaned closer, her voice calm but cold. "This bus doesn't stop until it reaches the end, Ahmad. And you can't escape what you owe." The air filled with whispers. Dozens of voices, faint but clear, repeating his name. "Ahmad, Ahmad, Ahmad." He screamed, "Stop the bus. Please stop it." No one answered. Rahana's voice was the last thing he heard before everything went dark. "You took a picture, Ahmad. Now, the picture will take you." Ahmad opened his eyes. Everything was silent. The bus had stopped, but the engine was still humming softly, like something alive beneath the metal. He looked around. Every seat was empty. Rahana was gone. The driver's seat was vacant. Ahmad slowly stood up and stepped toward the door. It opened by itself. A cold mist rushed in, carrying the smell of wet earth and decay. He stepped outside. The ground was soft, sinking slightly beneath his feet. It felt like freshly turned soil. In front of him stood an old, broken sign. Its letters were faint but still readable. "Graveyard Cross, the final journey." Ahmed's voice shook. "Where am I?" A dim light flickered ahead, a lantern glowing in the fog. Beside it sat the old woman, the same one from the bus. She was sitting on a stone, her head bowed, whispering to herself, "Ahmad Walked Closer. Please tell me what's happening. I just want to go home." The woman slowly raised her eyes. "You can't go home, son. You're already there." Ahmad stared at her, confused. "What do you mean?" She pointed toward the ground. Ahmad followed her gaze and froze. There was a grave, freshly dug, and on the wooden marker, written in dark ink, was his own name. His knees gave way. "No, this isn't real." The old woman whispered, "Every soul this bus takes must finish its journey. You were chosen because your guilt followed you." Ahmed's breathing grew heavier. The mist around him thickened. From the soil, faint shapes began to emerge. Hands, faces, eyes staring from beneath the ground. And then he saw her, Rahana. She stood in front of him, her white dress covered in dirt, her face pale and still. Her voice was barely a whisper. "You captured my last moment, Ahmad. Now this is yours." Ahmad stumbled backward, shaking his head. "No, I didn't mean to. I never wanted this." Rahana stepped closer. "It doesn't matter what you wanted. The bus decides who rides, not you." The ground beneath Ahmad cracked. A cold wind howled through the fog. He tried to scream, but no sound came out. Darkness swallowed everything. When the sun rose the next morning, the road to Graveyard Cross was empty. Only a single camera lay on the side of the road. Its lens was cracked. Inside it, one photo remained. A picture of Ahmad, staring blankly into the void. His eyes nothing but shadows. That same day, the city removed the sign for Route 13. The service was marked as permanently closed. But some say that on foggy nights, you can still hear the sound of an old bus engine echoing through the mist. And if you ever see a pair of dim, yellow headlights in the distance, remember this story, because the bus still runs, and it always stops for one more passenger.